Hello everyone, I hope you're having a lovely day. Thank you for joining me. Today for my Happy Friday series, well, I actually changed the name to a Happy Day series because these videos won't always fall on a Friday from now on. But today for my Happy Day series, I'm going to be using the stamp set from my stash. The Happy Day series is all about using stuff that's in our stash. So I chose this stamp set, cute little images, and then also grabbed this little floral image from my stash. Now, you're probably wondering where I got this stamp set from, and some of the stamp sets I can't tell you, so I wanted to show you how I used to store my stamps. So if you ever see me pulling out a stamp set for my Happy Day series, I wanted to explain how I used to store them. What I did was I took a stamp set and I separated all the elements in that stamp set, and I put them in piles. For example, all my thought bubbles went in a pile. So this stamp set here is from Hero Arts, and I didn't destroy this one, but it has thought bubbles and it has a heart in there, and then it has a thinking of you sentiment stamp. So what I would do is put the thinking of you in my thinking of you stamp sets. I'd put the heart in my heart one, and then I'd put the thought bubble in my thought bubble little pile. And that's how I used to store my stamps. And I know it was probably too much work, but actually I liked it because I could grab, like this one here is envelopes and sending thoughts and typewriter. So if I wanted to make a card with an envelope, I could just pull that out. I would just grab a piece of acetate that I trim down and then create my own acetate sheet, and then use the top part of the stamp, and then I would tape it on the very top part of the of my little acetate sheet. But that's how I used to store them. So this is a mixture of 3 different stamps. I think the bottom one's the Martha Stewart, and I know the floral image I'm using today will be a Technique Tuesday stamp. But some of them I actually don't remember the names, so I just thought I'd go over it with you. Now this is pretty. Isn't it so pretty? My lovely little daughter, Allie. She's my, well, 10-year-old. Going to be 11. But she brought me in this beautiful bouquet. So I thought today I'm going to be making her a thank you card. She knows I love flowers, so she goes out in the yard and picks them for me. So I'm taking this little bottle that was in the Stampendous stamp set. It's like a little milk bottle. And I'm inking that up with some rich cocoa ink from Memento. If I can say it, always gets me. Memento. So I'm stamping it twice to get a nice crisp image for that bottle. And then I'm going to use a different stamp set. This is the floral image from this one. And I'm pretty sure it's a Technique Tuesday stamp set. But I'm going to create a little vase with flowers. And I think the flowers in this one look a lot like daisies. So I'm just going to stamp that. Now the ink that I'm using for this one is a Simon Says Stamp ink, and it's barely beige. And this actually came in June's card kit. And it's a very pale ink. And so when you stamp your image using this ink, it's not as bold. And when I'm going to be using my distress inks to do a little watercoloring, so I thought it would look just perfect because I didn't want the outline of this floral image to show. So I have my bottle and my flower all stamped up, and here you can see it's just barely faint. Okay, but faint enough for me to paint over, which was nice. So I'm going to do some watercoloring. Now I sped this up really fast, and so but I will let you know the colors that I used. I'm using my little floral vase my daughter got me as a little guide for coloring, and I just taped it down on my, this is actually an acrylic block for my Big Shot machine, and I just kept the plastic on it, and I used that for watercoloring. I just taped it down with some painter's tape, and now I'm going in with some squeezed lemon. These are just little distress ink cubes. And then I'm also going to stamp, it's a tea dye, which is a real pretty brown. Now this is nice. I got this at Simon Says Stamp, and it's a really lovely paintbrush. And I'm really liking it. In fact, I'm probably going to go order some more. So I'll leave links below to this paintbrush. I think you guys will really like it. It's a beautiful paintbrush and it's very economical. So I just poured a little of water in a little dish, and I'm saturating my watercolor paper. This is watercolor paper I'm using here. And I'm going over the floral images. And then I'm taking in my squeezed lemonade, and I'm letting basically the water do all the work. And that's what I loved about this little no-line watercoloring. And then I'm going in with some tea dye to darken it just a little bit. And then I want to make sure those centers are nice and rich and brown. So the more vivid color I want, the less water I use. And then the more light colors I want, I'll add more water to my distress ink. It was a very simple image to color, and I think the flowers just turned out so pretty. Now we're going to do our leaves. So for the leaves, I chose mowed lawn, and then also a, let me see the other color here. It's shabby shutters. And then I also added a little bit of tea dye, just to darken up the colors just a little bit. And I'm actually new at watercoloring, but I'm really, really liking it. So that's why I wanted to do a watercolor card today. Now we're going to do the bottle. And for the bottle, I chose the ink Iced Spruce. And before I colored any of the images in, I saturated the area I wanted to color first with water. And then I'm just lightly going over my little bottle on the edges with the Iced Spruce. And I think it makes a really pretty glass color. I think this card turned out really, really pretty. And I love the way, I really like this brush. You might check this out. They have different sizes too. This was like a medium one, but I think I'm going to go in and get a fine one later on. Now, to intensify the colors on the edges of the bottle, I just dried off my brush and added the Iced Spruce to the edges. Fully concentrated, and it adds a lot of dimension. And basically that's it. Very very easy, and I'll probably be doing more of this because I like the outcome of this. I like the brown on the outside of the bottle too, because it wasn't as bold as the black, but see how pretty that is. And I did notice when the panel did dry that it dried a little bit lighter, which was nice. Now I grabbed a piece of a yellow cardstock from my stash, and I'm just going to score it at 5 1/2, and then I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to score the edges, and then I'm going to go in with my paper trimmer and just cut it at 4 1/4, and then that creates my standard size card base. And this yellow is like a dandelion yellow. It's really pretty. Now I'm going to take my little watercolor panel here. I'm going to trim down the edges just a little bit because I want some of that yellow cardstock to show behind my panel. This is like a surprise card for her, so I think she's really going to like it. My little Allie's really crafty too. She always wants to sit and craft with Mom, so I thought it'd be fun to make her a card. Now for my stash, I have these dies. These dies are from Paper Smooches, and they're called Dots and Dashes, and so all they do is create dash lines. So I wanted a little bit of interest on my panel, so I went around both sides with those dash lines. So I have a little bit of faux stitching on there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I really like the interest that gives. So now I thought, as I was looking at it, I thought I needed a little bit more. So I grabbed these are border dies, and they're from C&CT. And this one just cuts out diagonal lines. And so I just wanted to add that to the right side of the card. I punched out all the little extra areas there. And then I need some bells and whistles. So I'm taking my my craft pick here, and I'm punching 2 holes on the top part of the bottle. And then this is white, really thin white jute cord. I'm just going to thread it and tie a bow, just to add a little bit of fun to the card. I doubled it up so the bow is actually pretty full. I'm just going to trim off a little bit off the edges there. This is a very simple card, but I think it turned out nice. Now, once I have that done, I'm going to pop it up with some foam tape. Oh, actually, we need our sentiment. So I just chose a sentiment from my stash, and it says thanks a bunch. And I added some white embossing powder, heat set that, and then I grabbed a banner die from my stash, and I cut that out. Now here's where I add the fun foam. Since it is large area, I thought fun foam works perfect. So I'm just going to trim it down. I'm going to make 2 strips, one for the other side of that die cut area. And then I'm going to just place that right in the center. Lovely. I think it's so pretty. I'm going to just pop up my sentiment. And I had those fun foam on my desk, so I'm going to use that to pop it up. And the fun foam I use, I buy at Walmart, and it's adhesive back, so it works really well. I just glue one side and then remove the adhesive back from the other. I'm just going to place it right in the bottom there of my card base. Lovely. I want to add some sequins. These are from Pretty Pink Posh, and they're the confetti, I think. I'll list it below where you can get these. And I'm just adding a few here and there, just to give it a little shimmer and shine. I didn't want to touch the flowers or my little milk bottle. I wanted that to be the focal point. But I did want a little shine. And that was it. That is my happy day using What's in Your Stash series. I hope this inspires you to use your Distress Inks as watercolor. And at the end here, there's 2 more videos for my it'll say Happy Friday series. If you want to check those out, it's everything I use in my stash. I'm wishing you a lovely day. And if you're new and you like this tutorial, hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.